Good morning and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Jerry Bennett. I am honored to serve as the mayor of the city of Palos Hills and president of the Southwest Conference of Mayors. Joining me are Bernard Alsbury, president of Hazelcrest and past president of the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association, along with Phyllis Sweets, mayor of Wheaton and president of DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference. Along with me this morning are over 50 mayors and village presidents from communities across the Chicago region. On behalf of the 275 municipalities represented by 11 regional councils of government, my fellow mayors and I are here to discuss opportunities for state and local officials to collaborate for the benefit of our shared constituents and to invest in our communities. In 1969, our great state of Illinois joined states across the country in establishing an income tax. Rather than have municipalities implement their own income taxes, our predecessors in state and local government negotiated an historic agreement to share 1/12, or around 8.3% of state income tax revenue with all cities, villages, and counties in Illinois. They agreed that this funding would be distributed per capita, meaning both high-earning and low-earning communities would receive an equitable share. The creation of the Local Government Distributive Fund, LGDF, was not merely a fiscal decision, it was a mutual commitment to supporting the essential municipal services that benefit each and every resident of the state of Illinois. The General Assembly reaffirmed that commitment in 1993 by increasing LGDF from 8.3 to 10% annual income tax revenues. For decades, local government leaders knew they could rely on LGDF as a predictable and sustainable source of funding, even as other revenues fluctuated from month to month or year to year. As the prosperity of our state grew, municipalities shared in that growth, investing our 10% into repairing roads and sidewalks, salaries and benefits for our heroic first responders, flood prevention projects, economic development, and countless other programs that serve our residents. Long-serving mayors like myself, like 43 years, remember how hard it was when we were all hit by the 2008 financial crisis, and how vitally important LGDF was ensuring that we continue to meet our needs of our communities. In 2011, our 10% share of income tax revenue was reduced to help the state recover from a crisis. The lawmakers at that time promised that the reduction would be temporary. As mayors, we understand the challenge of creating a balanced budget and making tough decisions to do what is best for our constituents. And Illinois lawmakers have made great strides in recent years to improve the financial health of the state. We are sincerely grateful to our partners in the General Assembly, especially former Mayor of Chicago Heights and now State Representative Anthony DeLuca, who has been a fierce advocate for us regarding LGDF increase. In fact, last year that rose from 6.16 to 6.47. That was a step in the right direction. Restoring this critical revenue was more about just budget numbers. It's about our people. On behalf of the mayors joining me today and local government leaders across the state, we urge the General Assembly to once again prioritize investing in our communities by restoring local government distributive fund in the 2025 state budget. From public safety and infrastructure to health and community services, LGDF allows us to meet the needs of real people, our neighbors, our families, our constituents. Join us in building a better future for all of those we serve. Thank you, and now I'll turn it over to Mayor Alsbury.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bernard Alsbury Jr., and I'm the mayor of the village of Hazelcrest, a small community located in the south suburbs with just over 13,000 residents. Like many municipalities, we're dependent on local government distributive funds to lessen the property tax burden on homeowners and to keep our municipalities operating and delivering basic services. As you have heard, municipalities since 2011 have had to deal with reductions in local government distributive funds and changes to the revenue sharing formula. Even as we saw costs going up, we struggled as the state took more local tax revenue to plug gaps in their budget, asking to do more with less as we share sacrifices during this difficult economic times. Many communities, my community of Hazel Crest, has lost over $10 million in local government distributive funds since 2011. While at the same time, we face over 1,600 unfunded mandates since I was elected in 2013. Municipalities across the state already face inflationary pressures that make balancing tight budgets difficult. If even just a small handful of mandates proposed each legislative session are enacted, they occur over time and begin to both hinder municipalities' operations and burden property taxes. Yes, unfunded mandates passed by the General Assembly each year must be recognized as a significant contributor to the growing tax burden in Illinois, as municipalities struggle to find and dedicate funds to implement laws imposed by Springfield. And nowhere is more concerned than the South Suburbs region, where I call home. As our communities, many federally recognized environmental justice communities, as they have been disadvantaged and marginalized historically, overburdened and underserved communities that face systematic barriers are challenged to comply with mandates, directives without adequate resources which have further burdened our taxpayers. As mayor, we hear from residents every day. We know that many of our seniors and our young families already struggle for curtain tax burdens and bills. So that last thing we want to do is to push unfunded mandates. Because of this, many of our communities have continued to struggle in the Southland. We're here today to ask the General Assembly to support restoring local government distributive funds so that we have means to invest, build back better, and to ensure all Illinois communities are great places to live, work, and have recreation, and where places will be called homes. The need to rely on much of property taxes and other cost increases are really burdening our communities. I want to thank you today. I would like you now to welcome Mayor Cease.
Thank you, Mayor Ellsbury. Good morning to our mayors, respected members of the press, and all those joining us. My name is Phil Cease. I am the mayor of Wheaton and the president of the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference. Each one of us here and every other citizen in the state of Illinois relies on the critical services provided by local governments. As you have heard this morning, the needs of each community are unique, but unfunded mandates and the restoration of the local government distributive fund impact us all. The mayors and village presidents standing with us today are not only advocating for the residents of our own communities, and while we speak on behalf of 275 cities, towns, and villages in the Chicago region, the solutions we are seeking benefit all 12.5 million citizens of Illinois. We are here this morning to reach out to our partners in the General Assembly and urge them to work with us to prioritize continued investments in our communities. Our predecessors in state and local government created the Local Government Distributive Fund to ensure that municipalities, counties, and the state could all share in the growth of our collective prosperity. The restoration of LGDF represents not only our commitment to that historic agreement, but of our renewed commitment to maintaining the safety, well-being, and quality of life of our shared residents. We recognize the daunting number of legislative proposals that are considered in the General Assembly each year, many of which impact local governments directly or indirectly. As subject matter experts, we urge all state senators and representatives to seek out the mayors in your districts to discuss proposals that will impact us. Thank you to our legislators who have requested data, additional information, and feedback on prospective laws. As you know, we are responsive to the same constituencies, and by working together, we can develop solutions that address the needs of our residents and minimize unintended consequences. The presence of municipal leaders standing with us today represents more than our collective support for addressing unfunded mandates and increasing the local government distributive fund. This group represents the power of collaboration, the power of reaching across geographical and political boundaries to develop partnerships, leverage each other's strengths, and seek innovative solutions to better serve our communities. We invite state lawmakers to join us and help us uphold the promise of a government that truly serves the people. Together, we can make a lasting impact on the future of Illinois. Once again, thank you all for joining us this morning. We will now take any questions.